Hey everybody, this is Shane with the Trek Health 365 program. Coming to you today with another topic, and today's topic is the FITT Principle. So some of you may have heard of the FITT Principle before. Maybe you've never heard of the FITT Principle, but we're going to talk about what it is, what it means, and how it's going to affect the plan that we put together for you and how that plan changes over time based on your goals. So the FITT principle is another acronym. So FITT is actually FITT, and each of those letters is a different variable in the FITT principle that we're going to adjust to help you meet your goals. So the first is F is for frequency, and frequency is how often are you doing your exercise? Is it every single day you're exercising? Are you exercising multiple days per week? Or maybe it's a certain type of exercise that you're even doing multiple times per day, depending on what your goal is and what the training effect that we want. So F in the FITT principle stands for frequency. The second is I, and I is for intensity. So F is frequency, how often are we doing it? Intensity is how hard are we doing that exercise? And depending on the type of exercise we're doing, we're going to measure intensity in different ways. So we can measure intensity by tracking the amount of weight that we're lifting on a strength exercise, for example. What percentage of my maximum strength is that, or what's the intensity of that weight that I'm moving? It could be if I'm doing an aerobic exercise, what's my target heart rate while I'm doing that exercise? Is it very low? Is it very high? Each of those parameters, depending on the percentage I'm exercising at, are going to give me a different fitness outcome as well. Or it could simply be what we call RPE, or rate of perceived exertion, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being easy, 10 being very hard. What is the exertion level that I'm feeling when I'm doing that exercise? T in the FITT principle is time. So how long am I exercising for each session? So is it a certain number of minutes? Am I exercising for an hour? What is that? So in each different type of exercise that we're doing, how long are we exercising for, in addition to how often and how intensely are we exercising? So we can measure that duration in terms of minutes, hours. Maybe we measure it in mileage completed. If I'm riding my bike, rather than saying I'm going to go out and ride for an hour, maybe instead I say I'm going to go out and ride for 15 miles. So we can measure that volume or duration in mileage instead of time. Or maybe it's the total volume in a strength workout that I'm doing, rather than saying, well, I'm going to go and do strength exercise for 30 minutes and that's when I'm going to be done. Instead, we're saying I'm going to do 3 sets of 10 repetitions on 5 different exercises. And maybe that takes 30 minutes, or maybe it takes longer, maybe it takes less time. But time can also kind of be a measure of the total volume of exercise that we're doing in a single bout. And the second T in the FITT principle is type. What type of exercise am I doing? What's the stimulus that that's giving my body? And what is the ultimate long-term goal that I'm trying to achieve by doing that type of exercise? So is it aerobic exercise? Things like walking, biking, running, swimming, cross-country skiing in the winter. All of those would be good examples of aerobic exercise. Is it strength exercise? Am I doing some resistance training, either using weights or machines, maybe even body weight or resistance bands at home? Any of those types of things. Is it flexibility exercise? So am I doing some yoga or stretching or foam rolling or mobility work? How often am I doing that along with each of these types of exercises? The intensity, the duration, all these things play a factor. So, and each of those types of exercise and some others as well, we'll delve into more as the program goes along, and we'll talk more specifically about how do we, for a certain goal, adjust those variables within a certain type of exercise to achieve the outcome that we want. So what do I really need to do to meet my goals? Well, this is where your exercise plan really comes into play. And there's going to be different guidelines if our goal is simply to improve health versus if it's going to be to improve performance in a specific area. And the way we adjust each of those variables to achieve our goal is going to be unique for each person and their individualized plan that we put together. So again, we're going to get more in depth on each of those so you guys have a really good understanding of here's how much aerobic exercise or strength exercise or flexibility exercise I need to do to, number one, maintain or improve my health, and number two, achieve the goals that I have for myself that are maybe more performance oriented or recreation oriented versus just health oriented. How do we adjust each of those variables to really give you guys the outcome that you want? So the last thing that I want to emphasize with the FITT principle are kind of three key takeaways. One is that the exercise training that we're doing reflects the goals that we have. So if my goal long term is I want to be able to complete the Trek 100, if I'm not riding my bike and I'm only doing strength and flexibility exercise, I'm not going to be really successful at completing the Trek 100. Vice versa, if I want to build new lean body mass, if I never do strength exercise, it's pretty unlikely that that's going to happen. So we want the frequency, intensity, time, and type of exercise that we're doing to really reflect what that ultimate long-term goal is. And the way that we adjust those different variables is going to give us a different outcome. So within each of those, how often are we doing each? How hard are we doing each? How long? And what type of exercise are we doing is going to ultimately determine what goal we achieve and what goal we don't achieve. And lastly, probably the most important key takeaway is consistency. If we're really going to make measurable progress towards our goals, we have to be consistent in what we're doing with exercise. So it's really important as we craft a plan for each of you that we find ways to incorporate that into our existing lifestyle in order to make progress towards those goals. So those are kind of the three big key takeaways. I really look forward to getting into with each of you more. How are we setting up your plan with the FITT principle so that you can really get the most out of your exercise in the time that you have to be able to invest? So that's all I've got for you on the FITT principle today. Look forward to bringing you guys more information soon about each of these variables and how we can really set those up for you guys to be successful. So I hope you found this helpful. We'll talk to you guys all real soon.